Welcome to another episode of the Talented Learning Demonstration Series. Today we're going to take a look at Brainier. Brainier, take it away.
So with the time that we have today, or the planned agenda, we're going to be looking at things from a high level and just a couple of the features that they mentioned. So what we're seeing here is the Brainier learning experience, or what that could look like for a learner. Again, we certainly have many options for easily customizing any experience, and those can be automated by group or segment, as Mike was alliterating there, for thousands of groups, hundreds of thousands of groups. But we also have the learner experience in that there are gadgets available. So keeping everything relevant based on the vision, or again, empowering learners to optimize their approach. So I know, John, some of this you've seen before, but just a refresher there for diving into our first element, which is likely an assigned learning opportunity called an assessment or an evaluation. So this particular one today, I'm going to be showing a self-assessment, but as Kent mentioned, this is 90, 180, 360, so support for an entire team of individuals to evaluate each other in certain competency frames, or we have some client partner teams that utilize this for performance type evaluation, so annual performance review, perhaps. But again, today, for my purpose, I'm going to be coming in as maybe my first thing as a new employee. People could offer this up. Hey, Carissa, where do you feel you're at in this skill set? Okay, and so this is it within a customer service skills or competency frame. I can see who I'm assessing here. And again, it's my name because it's a self-assessment. And it's essentially just a quick, easy to use questionnaire that I can go through these questions. And again, I'm evaluating this from the perspective of how I feel, what level I'm at. So for today's use case, I'm going to say that I'm actually considering myself as a beginner in this frame or skill set, whereas, someone like Kent might come in and rate himself very high as he's very advanced in his ability to speak to, a variety of audiences. But that's the point, right? Because we want this to be a personalized prescriptive approach, where immediately my suggested learning is at the beginner level, whereas Kent, based on his questionnaire form, immediately sees advanced level training. So that's what you're seeing here is, results text, as well as right away I can jump in at my level with suggested learning, whatever the type or modality. Okay. So that was the assessment tool in Brainier, part of the Cultivate module. The next piece we're going to highlight today is certification planning. Now, this can also be used as a career planning element. So that's more of the use case I have assigned to me today. So from this gadget, the learner can see any plan, again, could be aligned to industry certifications, of course, but also maybe it's helping me move in my career into another job role or function. So I was actually invited by my learning team into a team lead program. So I can see the title there, any imagery, description of this comprehensive plan. And that's considered comprehensive because these are typically, as Kent mentioned, the longer, like 6-month to a year plan, because administrators can opt for specific visibility levels based on maybe helping someone digest that big packet of learning, right, in a very segmented, automated approach. So that's kind of the functionality of what this is providing. It also allows me to immediately see my progress in that track from this gadget, but I also have a dedicated space to see all of the plans I'm involved in, and I can dive into any particular plan detail. And then based on the level of visibility I've been given, I can see anything that's been released. Again, this is automatic release content, as well as perhaps anything that's coming up. So for this particular plan, I'm allowed to preview what's coming next in my team lead programming throughout the year. But again, it makes it very digestible. It helps me, get started with, whatever my team has deemed. All right, go ahead and focus on this, and then we'll continue to release these in stages for you.
And when you
Is that clear?
release them, that is based on like relative dates, or like, I don't know, a couple weeks after you finish this, then
Yep,
this will pop up.
exactly.
Those type
Yep.
of scenarios.
Yep. It can be very personalized because it's based on my completion date, but then the kind of the planned days in between that can be dictated by the administrator and fully automated. That's exactly right.
It's almost like a CRM system with an email campaign.
Cool. Okay,
All right.
so certification planning, or again, program, career planning, career development. There are ways for administrators to label that as well to meet their vision and needs. The next piece that we'll take a look at here is that also has a dedicated gadget, is the goal tracking or goal planning feature. So similar to the layout for the certification planning or programs that I've been invited into, I can see any of the goals I'm included in, and right from the dashboard. So I can see that progress, any imagery associated with that target or goal set. And these can be any type of KPI tracking. So those can be brought in by the administrator. So it could even be like a sales pipeline if they want to track this right in the LMS. But also we offer automated goals as well, which pulls from our activity trail in the system. So a lot of flexibility and options in terms of what they might have for the objectives with the goals. Also, like the certification plans, I have a dedicated submenu area. Learners can have visibility to any of these goals in further detail, and some might be competitive. So like I'd be able to see my own progress in a pipeline here, that's what you're seeing, but also compare it to others on my team or in my group to give us an idea of, where we are at together. So for a little bit of friendly competition and engagement in that regard.
Hmm. Nice.
Okay, so that was assessments, certification planning or programs, and goal tracking, all from the learner's perspective. So now we could jump into a couple of the dedicated reports. I also I can show you the QR code link, but we did already show that in the prior presentation. So that's up to you. The screenshot is pretty similar to what I'd be showing you.
Okay. Well, continue on then. It's a good use case.
Sure. So we can show the administrative aspects of those pieces at this point.
Okay.
I believe I covered, was there anything else? Oh, the video coaching. I apologize. So you're right. I apologize. So video coaching module in Brainier, we offer 3 different lesson types, and typically they're usually an end cap to a path of learning. So this is often how the learner would see this, as part of, a very specific subset of learning, as a way to present to them all the, quizzing, video, traditional type exams, right? But then now I have that ability to practice my demonstration or an experiential learning opportunity related to that subject matter that I've learned. So for example, this use case was built to be for a sales team to practice their product pitch before actually going out in front of the customer, right? So we have this lead here of the sales team presenting the lesson in the video-based format as well as text up at the top. And once the lesson is understood, I can go ahead and just begin that practice workflow and leverage the deep learning auto analysis scoring that Kent mentioned earlier as well. So this becomes very actionable because I'm able to improve on my own using this tool as I'm submitting those video demonstrations, and then submit it for team review if applicable. So we can also set these up where a whole team can collaborate together in an asynchronous video asset type approach. So I can actually show really quickly here. I apologize. I'm getting to the Zoom video. There we go. So I'll show maybe that first score wasn't the best. No problem. I can go ahead, begin practicing my second attempt here, save it, and immediately the system will begin to transcribe what my presentation included and provide me with a new score. So I think Kent has had some average scores with this with our current client partner, or typically, what is it, Kent? About 7 times people will practice before actually submitting to their team. Anyway.
Yeah, that's really one of the really exciting things about this product, that this element, right, is that you're creating a really safe place for people to rehearse. And so the statistics right now are showing that on average, somebody will practice 7 times before submitting a recording. And so what we're really doing is we're creating a safe place where people can practice. When before, we couldn't even get people to practice. So this is really an exciting upgrade for us, where and then obviously these elements can become learning objects that other people can use to study from, right? Because the video is captured within the LMS, and now we could share that sort of best practices in a very relatable way.
Great use case. Neat.
All right, thanks for taking a look at that video coaching tool within Brainier, one of the 3 available workflows. So there are other opportunities here where the learner doesn't have time to practice. They're just kind of put on the spot. The recorder begins based on, a certain video quiz flow or certain type of response that is required. So options abound with the video coaching module as well.
Hey, one thing I'll mention about the video coaching is we've had a great number of successes lately with customers really seeing the value of that. When I was first introduced to it, the immediate knee-jerk reaction was, "Oh, it's amazing for sales training." It's as Kent was saying, in a role-playing situation, it's a fantastic tool for that. But we're seeing a lot of companies really registering their communicating their brand value and what their brand standards are, and having kind of this safe place to practice, but also having a mandated place to practice, because that's when you really learn it. I think back of when I was taking the safety class to learn to ride a motorcycle. I did the box turn in a parking space once after 4 attempts and said, I can do it. But when I was on the training grounds with an instructor being told, no, you did it once. Okay, now do it 4 more times in a row. That's when I really learned the skill of it. Another portion of that I'm really excited about is the ability to take those, Carissa was talking about the auto analysis of it, where the computer will objectively score how you performed in that, whether words per minute and keywords and whatnot. Well, the real appeal of that is to be able to put out that assessment to a giant group of employees or learners in general, and to have the AI do the work of identifying the ones that are exemplary or possibly need a little help. So doing that at scale is entirely possible with that tool. It's a fantastic thing that, when we kind of rolled it out with our partnership there, it was met with a bunch of excitement, and it's really gaining a lot of traction as of late. So, all right, I'll stop being the marketing guy for a second. So,
no worries. Valid points there, Kyle. All right, the next piece we'd like to share with you is the equivalencies, or essentially a test out option for this use case. So we might have people onboarding in with some subject matter knowledge, and they might be qualified to just go ahead and move past certain learning that is included in a path, right? Whereas other colleagues might not pass this quiz or exam that they can easily, administrators can easily build right within Brainier. And here we'll have just a quick exam all about Brainier, which I should know a few things there. So hopefully I passed that one. But this will give you the idea that for the person that passes, I'm actually granted the ability to go ahead and move forward. Whereas someone that wouldn't have passed that quiz would not have placed out. So I'm actually able to just go ahead and move forward. Whereas I think, someone else coming in,
Mhm.
they might not, right? In some cases. So that was one way to use the equivalencies in Brainier.
Some of the older folks in the room might remember the term "klepping out" that's what they used to call that back in the 80s, where you'd take that
Interesting.
and you'd be able to skip it more
Klepping out?
normal. Klepping out. Yeah, I don't know why they called it that, but that's
Well, if you had your own instance of Brainier, you can easily change the label text to klepping out there, John, if you wanted to. So thanks for sharing that fact.
I mean, only me and Jerry know that.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with that, but now I know. Okay, cool. So I think what we could do next, I think we're getting close to time. I could show a couple of dedicated reports with these new features for you today. So we'll go to the administration side, the Brainier system. And one of the reports that we've added in our pre-built area is individual assessment. So I'm actually taking the role here of the manager or leader that is interested in where I assessed myself in that customer service competency frame. So I can go ahead, search for the title of that assessment and the user of interest and bring up the results from the administrative perspective. So I can actually drill in. So in the back end of things, the system's automatically tracking point values for each competency or section, as we call them. So they'll have visibility to that. They'll also have visibility to the deep details of every answer I gave myself. So very helpful for like mentors, right? For newer people that are coming in and saying, hey, I don't feel confident in these. How can you help me move forward in my career or my skill set? I can also immediately access any of the learning that was suggested to that person and include that in my report. So maybe helpful right before the one-on-one meeting to bring that with me. And again, just help them continue to improve with their goals or assessments, I should say. And then for the teams that are involved in the assessments, there are different ways to make sure people can only see who they should see in the reports. Again, that ties back to our multi-tenancy feature, but options available for whoever might have been assessed, right? So, and then with our goal report, let's see, I think we need to look at the system tour target. So this is where the administrator can have visibility to the progress, either on screen for that whole team there or exportable format. So with that, that was pretty much all I had planned for those newer elements. Anything else?
Sure, but you should never ask me that, especially when we have 5
okay.
minutes left. What how about what's the analytics or the data visualization? What's that mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are a number of ways to visualize data sets in Brainier. And by the way, all of the data is on demand. So as learners are completing things, those that should have the ability to report on those learners will have that information right away in reports. Now, the analytics dashboard, as one way to visualize the information, is fully customizable for that person. So they can, that administrator, that manager, whoever's being empowered here to visualize the data They can set exactly what they need or what they prefer. One of the ones you're seeing here, John, would be an ability for them to keep track of team required training statuses. So just a really quick way at a high level, based on the color values here, I can see, wow, we've got a good set of the team that's overdue. I'm actually going to drill in here because these are also interactive charts to go ahead and see, okay, who exactly on my team needs help and for which training. They also have the option to just export this into a table in one click or take a snapshot. We do actually have client team members that use this particular card on a quarterly basis to meet with different department heads to show their learning progress or learning results. And I think someone was joking the other day, I hope my wheel is all green before I have to present to that other team, right? Because I can brag and say my team's caught up. So just one way to use the many visualization options in Brainier.
Mm-hmm. Nice, looks great. What's a
Thank
smart
you.
report mean?
Yeah. So Smart Report is actually an analytics search engine. So really quick way to look up an individual learner. So I can pull up a person by name. And for this purpose, people call it kind of like a report card format where immediately I can see what has been assigned to Sam, what he has completed, and in fact, export an entire transcript in a more formal PDF type format, or individual certificates are accessible to administrators or managers from here, as well as a broad range of other activities and information about the user. They can also pull up, let's say for a certain certification class, right? Auditor came to town. I quickly need to see who has been certified. So just pull up that title. So I search for that name of the class, go to completed, and I can export the records, any learner that has completed that certification and send that, provide that to the auditor.
Nice. Nice. 360 reports. So if I do a self-assessment and it links to the content as you showed me, does it also take in, does the 360 imply that it would take me and my manager's assessment of me into account for content recommendations and my team also? Is that what you mean by that?
For the assessment with a team, that is typically related to, or the use case I've seen mostly is the performance evaluation itself. So the questionnaire is the more important aspect of reporting for that. So at this time for the 90 or the self-assessment is where the content suggested learning comes into play. But absolutely, they will have the ability to see every instance, no matter who was evaluated, in terms of the questionnaire that was filled out. So for example, John, if you had a manager that you were asked to review their leadership performance, those that needed to report on that team interaction would see all of those instances, if that makes sense. So who's assessing who on whatever questionnaire?
Nice, nice. That's not a common feature set either in the industry. 360-degree assessments. That's why I want to poke into that a little bit.
Thanks for asking.
We're looking at, you're welcome. We're looking at, now we're out of time. We're looking at reports, from an administrative. Can you go one level up and just show me what the admin interface looks like, or is that what we're looking at now?
Yeah, so with Brainier, it's actually, we support custom role types. So that means people get to decide who they're empowering, which means what functions they have access to. So you could have an administrator in your system that only has access to static reports and smart reports. Whereas we have other client partners that have completely customized names for their roles, such as a class instructor. And they might come in and their dashboard or reports only includes details related to class scheduling, that type of thing. So if that makes sense, technically, it's really whatever they decide their system should look like back here for the applicable role. And then who they see will automatically follow based on the hierarchy they've set up with that group structure that Mike and Kent mentioned.
Nice, nice, very flexible, very
Yep.
flexible.
Very flexible. It's not all or nothing. Yep.
All right, Carissa, Brainier, thank you very much for spending the last hour with me and our followers, highlighting your solution. It looks really good. It's clean, it's colorful, it's easy to get to. The flexibility, as we just mentioned, a lot of nice features that you don't see in a lot of LMSs as differentiators. The video piece, or the video upload and grading and team, team review of that is super cool. Using AI to help generate that and get the best responses is really neat. As I just mentioned, just the concept of 360 assessments in general is rare in the industry, because it's hard and difficult to build out that. So you don't see a whole lot of versions of that. And also liked the ability in general to have the widgets. You're not calling them, what's the word that you're using?
Gadget.
Widgets. Gadgets.
It's okay.
Gadgets that are really flexible to turn on what you need and what you want based on the roles. It's all really handy and user friendly. And it's nice to see the gamification and badges. Three of those six languages that you showed, I never even knew existed in life. So I must be living under a peach basket here in Pennsylvania. But in any case, it's really great to see the progress in the system and the new features, and really the dedication of enhancing the learning. So I appreciate you taking the time to show me. And listeners, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Executive Briefing Series. Now you know why this is my favorite series of content, because you can't help but get smart watching this. So thanks everyone, and hope to see you on the next. Brainier, thank you very much.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, guys.